Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the iMac that's been rumored to release this year. I've been waiting for it for so long, it's long overdue. So let's talk about it. But before then, I actually want to thank all of you for being here, especially the subscribers that have been here since the very beginning. As you can see, I've changed my channel name from XIA Tech to Solid State. And is there a reason behind it? Kind of. But we're not going to be spending too much time talking about that. I'm just going to say, if you've been here since I'm called XI Tech, and now it's Solid State, don't worry, I've not been hacked. It's still me. The content is not changing, just the name. Alright, let's get back to the video. Just saying, these are not actually exclusive information. You can find this everywhere else. I'm just compiling it into a understandable format and, a presentable media form. So don't get confused, I don't have any inside information from Apple. And Tim Cook, if you're watching this, everything I said in this video is not directed towards you, and please stop watching my videos, it's kind of scary. First of all, if you look at the Mac Pro release and the Pro Display XDR, they were announced in WWDC but not released until later, which means that Apple can, in fact, announce actual hardware in the Worldwide Developers Conference, although it's mostly for software. And also, there's been a lot of predictions and rumors suggesting that the iMac 2021 will come out this spring, or maybe even in just 1 month. If you look at what they have released so far, we have the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini supporting Apple Silicon. So it seems like they're starting out with the cheapest and lowest performance Macs and slowly building up. So it's been long overdue for a new iMac, it's long overdue for a new Mac actually. And not only that, the iMac is basically what's next. Because what's more powerful than a Mac Mini, but not as powerful as an iMac Pro or Mac Pro? An iMac, obviously. So the rumors suggesting that a new iMac is coming out soon is actually pretty convincing, and from what I believe, I think it's coming out in just 1 month. Another thing that's suggesting the iMac to be coming out in the first half of this year, or in spring, is because the second half is mostly for MacBooks from what we have seen before. Apple usually refresh their new MacBooks and stuff during the second half of the year, just like with Apple Silicon, they released it in the second half of 2020. So it's really strange if they just overshadow their MacBooks with an iMac, which is why it's most likely that it's going to be coming out really soon. Now let's talk about the pricing of the iMac. I know this is a major limiting factor for most people. Even if you want to pick up a new iMac, it's quite expensive. If you look at I have a green screen. If you pretend that you can see my iMac right here, I got it in 2017. And the only reason why I didn't go for the 5K was because of price. Now, would it have been better if I got the 5K? Probably. But did I need it? No. And if I did get the 5K, I would have probably been less inclined to do this year's upgrade. So that's actually pretty fortunate for me that I got the 4K. But the price for the 2021 iMacs will still be a major limiting factor. From what we have right now, the 21.5-inch 4K iMac starts at $1,100, and the 27-inch starts at $1,800. We would probably expect the same for the new iMacs because Apple isn't the company to drastically change the price of their products, or unless they're Macs, and Apple does not usually lower the price by that much either. However, one exception is with the 2018 MacBook Air, where that Mac got $100 cheaper. Another example that I just actually realized is with the 2020 Mac Mini, which also got a $100 price decrease. So we might actually be seeing an iMac that's $100 to $150 cheaper, although I wouldn't bet on that. The display for the iMacs are always notorious for two things, actually. One is display quality and how great it is, and the second is how it looks so horrible. How does this happen? The two polar opposite things for a single display, how are we so torn? Some people think, oh, the iMac display's the worst thing in the world. Some people praise it. Why? Well, they're not actually talking about the same thing. One demographic is talking about the display quality and how well it displays color. The other is about the actual looks of the display. Now, I actually like the screen, although I am a bit torn between the middle. The bezels on the current iMacs suck, and that's without a doubt. Though, some people don't mind it, like, I don't mind it that much, really, but I know it really bugs people out, especially with iPads and stuff being so incredible with their bezels. It's almost like Apple isn't trying with their Macs, and that's pretty true, actually. It's been more than a decade that Apple has not updated their iMacs friends, so it's due for a change. Which is why most people believe, including me, that the new iMacs will have a design change for the screen. Currently, iMacs use an IPS LCD panel for the display that can be either chosen to be 4K or 5K. It's incredibly impressive that it comes with the computer itself. You don't usually get that with most PCs, and if you get an all-in-one, it's usually not 4K or 5K. If you want to get these displays by itself, you actually can through the LG Ultrafine monitors, although that's like another $1,000 to $2,000. That is a lot for a monitor that comes with an iMac. However, that does come at a price, literally. You have to get the 27-inch, which is more expensive than the 4K version. There is a chance, however, that Apple will be bringing the full 5K Retina display to the smaller iMac as well, and bring a 6K resolution to the existing 5K model. If that happens, I'll be very glad because I've been planning on picking up the 5K, or the larger model. But if that doesn't happen, it's totally fine. 5K is still amazing, it's more than most people need. With that being said, that's not the only upgrade. It's more than likely that Apple will add some other smaller upgrades, like improved color or better True Tone, and maybe automatically adjust the color of the displays better, because, you know, True Tone is great and all, but sometimes on my Mac it's a bit nifty. So if that gets updated, awesome. If you look at the thumbnail for today's video, you can see that the bezels still look thick as heck. And that's, don't worry, that's not the actual display. It's just something I've drawn in Procreate on my iPad. It's not a big deal, alright? It's going to be much thinner than that. Think the Pro Display XDR. You know, the thin bezels on the sides? I think that's going to be what it's like. And of course, expect the nano texture glass to be available on your iMac as well, costing an extra $500 to $1,000. It might not be worth it, just saying. So we know about the release date, the price, and even the display changes. What else do we not know about it? Apple Silicon. What's powering the iMac is very important as well. If you get a new computer that has an old CPU, it's like you're not even getting an upgrade. It's just not worth it. If you look at how much of a difference the M1 chip made on the Mac Mini or these other MacBooks, you can see that the upgrade is huge. It's at least 4 times better than the old models. So expect an M2 processor or something else like that. I believe it's going to be called an M2 simply because 1 plus 1 equals 2. But it might be called an M5 and M1X, a M1Z. Strange names, but I'm going to stick with M2, and I'm going to bet $1,000 that's called M2. Bet me. Leave it in the comment section down below what you think the name is. Anyway, the M1 chip will be obviously much better than what we have right now. However, that does mean most likely we will not be able to change out the RAM by ourselves anymore, because in the Mac Mini and other MacBooks with the M1 chip, the M1 chip is soldered with the RAM itself, so you cannot change the RAM. A bit unfortunate, although, you know, Apple needs the price margins. With that said, M2 or other Apple Silicon will most likely make the iMac one of the most powerful or the most powerful all-in-ones on the market right now, which, if you can't tell, I'm really interested. That was like reverse sarcasm. Some additional things that we have to talk about about the iMac is that, first of all, the 27-inch might be boosted up to a 30-inch or even a 32-inch model, which makes me more inclined to think that it's going to have 6K, which might make the 6K XDR display, Pro Display XDR, a bit obsolete. Although, is anyone really buying that? Like, as a actual person, ironically buying that monitor for $6,000? I don't think so. And also, just put a worse color graded display in the iMac. No one will care, and that will still give the Pro Display XDR a purpose. So a 32-inch 6K iMac will be pretty nice. And for the 21.5-inch, that might be boosted up to a 24-inch as well. I think that's going to be a really convincing option for most people that are planning on upgrading. Even if you were a person who liked the 27-inch, you might be slightly more inclined to get the 24-inch as well, because, you know, the difference really isn't that much. There's also been some rumors suggesting that FaceID will be coming to the iMacs. The reason why FaceID does not exist on the MacBooks just yet is because it's a bit too thick. If you look at the lid for every single type of MacBooks, you can see that it's so thin. I'm actually pretty surprised that they managed to fit in like a 480p or 720p webcam in there. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, if you look at this iPad right here, it's pretty thin, but it's still thick enough to house the Face ID modules, which cannot be said for the MacBooks. But with the iMacs, although it's really thin as well, it's still thick enough to house the Face ID modules. So if we're lucky, we might be able to get Face ID on there. And finally, some people think that there's gonna be an integrated keyboard and trackpad, which just looks ugly as fork and does not seem practical at all. So, what the heck, guys? Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. It is not sponsored, thank God. So, if you like it, please press the like button and consider subscribing. It seems like most people watching my videos are not subscribed, so if you feel like subscribing, please do. And if it interests you greatly, share with your friends. Come on, people like videos like this, right? I hope so, because I made 2 more. Check out the video talking about the 2021 Mac Pro somewhere near here, or if it's not released yet, then just subscribe. And also, check out the video of me talking about the rumored 2021 MacBook Pro, that's 14 inches and 16 inches. Alright, that's it. I'll see you guys next time, and don't forget to drink water. What?